Hello, you are welcome to New Focus Approach to Mathematics Basic 9. This is the revised edition. And in this video, we want to learn about value added tax, VAT, value added tax. Now, when you talk of VAT, what does it mean? Okay, now let's see the definition of VAT. By definition, we are saying that it's a consumption tax applied at each stage of production or distribution where value is added to a product or service. Okay, VAT is typically included in final price paid by a consumer, making it a key tax in many economics. VAT is commonly used by the government to generate revenue and usually apply on goods and services sold within a country. So, for example, if you buy a bottle of water and probably the price is, let's say, 5 cedis, that is what you buy outside and you drink. The moment you buy 5 cedis, that means you've paid some tax, additional tax to be given to the government for um for infrastructure development, to put it that way. And so you, the consumer, you are paying the tax, and the person who's collecting this tax is the company owner or the manufacturer or the business owner, and he is the collector of this tax to be given to the government. So businesses act as tax collectors on behalf of the government, collecting VAT from customers and submitting it to the authorities after deducting any VAT paid on the business's purchases. Right, so let's see, let me take one example and see how we can calculate VAT anytime we buy something. How do you know how much you pay to the government? Now, after eating at a restaurant, a family of 4 persons was given a bill of 235 cedi 95 pesos VAT inclusive. That means the moment they pay this money, they've paid VAT inclusive. So take note of the word inclusive. In some cases, the question will be given to you and will say exclusive. So if a VAT rate is 12.5, which of course is the rate normally we use in Ghana. Normally the VAT rate in Ghana is 12.5. Calculate amount the family paid as VAT. Okay, so now we want to take note of this. The amount, the original price of the product plus the VAT, okay, always becomes the amount the consumer will pay finally. And so this amount that we have here is equivalent to the VAT plus the original price. Okay, now how do we calculate it? The original price, we normally associate it to 100%. That's the original price. And then the VAT rate has been given as 12.5. So when we put 100 plus this, then we get this. Then this one matches the original price and the VAT paid together. So for us to find our the amount the family paid, we can now say, okay, 12%, that's 12.5 over the total percentage, which is this times the amount they paid. That's the final amount they paid. So we can now know how much the government will take from this amount that they've paid. Now, if you do calculation, I'm sure at this stage you know how to simplify some of this work. And if you take your time and simplify it well, you write your answer to be 26.2, let's say 22. Now that means the family paid 26 cedis, 22 pesos to be given to the government as VAT. Does it make sense? Good. Let's take another example and see. In a certain country, the VAT rate is 12.5. Mr. Winnie paid 450, VAT inclusive for an item. The VAT inclusive was VAT inclusive. Okay, I think that's a repetition. Calculate the basic cost of the item and then the VAT paid by Mrs. Awuni. Now, for us to know the basic cost, we still have to rely on this particular formula. Okay, and this time I want to know what was the original price before they paid 450. Okay, so I can go ahead and do what we did earlier on by saying 12.5 over 112.5 times 450, so that this will give me the VAT that they paid. Then I can subtract it from the other side. Now, when you do this simple calculation here, so we are going to have our answer to be 50. That means they paid the VAT of 50. So that answers the B part of the question. But what was the basic cost? The basic cost is going to be 450, okay, minus 50. And that will give us 400. So this is the original price that the people are supposed to pay, okay. But then because there's a VAT inclusive, then they pay the 450 cedis. Alternatively, we can also solve this same question using a different approach. And let me show you that one. Now, we can first find the basic cost by saying that, okay, because we know that the total amount, including the VAT, in percentage is given us 1 that an original amount which we want to know that they paid is going to be 100% over the total, because you now want to find, you're not finding the VAT paid, but you want to find the original amount. And so that will be divided by 112.5. Then we multiply by the amount Mrs. Awuni paid for the cost of the item that she purchased. Okay, now when you do simple calculation here, once again, you realize that when you do all this simple calculation, you're going to get straight away 400. Now this 400 simply means she paid, the basic cost was 400, but because she paid in VAT inclusive, that's why she paid 450. Now for us to find the VAT paid by Mrs. Awuni, we can also say, okay, well, VAT is 12.5 divided by 100. Then we multiply that by 400. Now, when we do simple cancellation here, then we can get our answer to be 50. That means he paid a VAT of 50 Ghana cedis in addition to the original price. That's why the amount was 450. Let's take the last example and see. Okay, now the last example says that at a shopping mall, a customer bought an item worth 4,000 VAT exclusive. Take note of that, VAT exclusive. If the VAT is 12.5, calculate the total amount a customer has to pay. So this is the original amount now. There's no VAT. Now they are charging VAT of 12%. So how much will you pay? Very simple. We want to know the VAT amount to pay. So the VAT amount is equal to the VAT rate over 100 times the original. It's as simple as that. So VAT rate is 12.5 over 100 times the original amount, which is 4,000. And again, if you do simple cancellation and you multiply 40 times 12.5, that should give us 500. So the 500 cedis is the VAT the customer is going to pay. Now the question says we should calculate the total amount he paid. Total amount he paid is going to be now 4,000 plus the 500, which will give us 4,500. So in this case, the customer will pay 4,500 to purchase the item. I'm sure these few examples has helped you to understand the concept of VAT and how to handle it. Thanks so much for watching.